Imagine this. This is 1930s Germany. It's a time when fear and tension, it's in the air, it's filled up the air. And the strange thing, what's really fueling the Nazi regime right now, it isn't the evil intentions of the few people who are sitting at the top. It's something far more ordinary, far more simple. But in a way, it's even scarier. It's ignorance. I know, sounds kind of harsh. It allowed the Nazis to twist reality and spread hatred and control people's mind. And that to me is a reminder that we can't choose to ignore even today. Let me tell you about Dietrich Bonhoeffer. He was a German theologian who actually dared to stand up against Hitler. He paid with his life for it because he was executed. But before he got executed, he wrote something powerful, something profound. He said, stupidity is more dangerous enemy than the malice. Well, think about it. According to Dietrich, ignorance was more evil because you can confront and expose evil. You can try to stop it. And people are often uneasy about it, which means they're actually open to questioning it. But ignorance is completely closed off in its little bubble and unwilling to listen to reason. So in Nazi Germany, this ignorance wasn't just a passive thing, it was active. It kind of made people immune to the truth. And the tricky part about all of this, Nazi regime never spread the complex ideas. Hitler believed that propaganda works best when it's dumbed down just to simple points, and then he repeated over and over and over. Well, until everyone could recite it by heart. Now just imagine hearing something so often and on a daily basis, left, right, center, that it becomes a part of your thinking, it becomes a part of you. It's sitting there in your head and you don't even realize it that it's there. Your brain has been poisoned. And that's exactly what happened in the Nazi Germany. And now these slogans, they weren't just harmless words. Slogans, they were designed in a way that people feel something. Feel hatred, feel anger. It was dumbed down in a way that people felt like they know the world's complexity, but in reality they were being fed lies, but they never realized it. With these simple catchy phrases, people believed that they knew and they knew enough. So they just stopped asking questions and just started believing in these things. Started believing these lies. And then what happens after this? Your brain is poisoned and you start seeing enemies everywhere. Anyone who is not from your tribe is your enemy. And the effect, well, people became divided, they became distrustful and hostile. Be it families, your neighbors, your friends, all torn apart just because few lines of catchy, repeated, misinformed slogans were fed to you and you believed them and you thought you know the world. And you couldn't reason with them. They were convinced that they were right. And this ignorance ironically made people far more dangerous than any single malicious act could. And then it turned entire groups of people against each other, becoming each other's enemies. And this just fueled hatred, which ultimately led to atrocities. Now Bonhoeffer, he understood this. He knew it very well. And he saw that once ignorance took root, it is going to be nearly impossible to dislodge, to get rid of it. It's been planted well. Dietrich said that it was harder to fight ignorance than it was to fight evil, because ignorance always came with a sense of self-satisfaction. People thought they knew it, they knew things, so they were never receptive to listening. They were never open to listen to other people's ideas. And this is exactly what made ignorance so dangerous. We all know the results of it. And at this point, the Nazis didn't want everyone to agree with them out of fear or out of loyalty. What the Nazis really wanted was to people not question and then accept whatever they were spreading. Accept it as clear, simple truth. And the lesson's quite huge here. If you're not careful, if you're not questioning the information that's being fed to you, or think critically for that matter about what you're hearing, we can easily fall into the same trap. And in today's world of rapid fire information firing left, right, center, it is more tempting. It is more tempting to accept the simplest explanation and to believe the catchiest slogan that are being thrown around and to ignore the complexity of the real truth. I believe there's one takeaway from all of this. I believe ignorance and blind faith in catchy messages, these aren't just personal choices. All of this holds the potential to shape the society in ways that leads to division, mistrust, and harm. We just remind ourselves of this history, how ignorance was used to manipulate, to divide. And I guess at this point, I just want to say that just try to stay vigilant. Because when people start choosing knowledge over simple slogans and awareness over comfortable illusion and curiosity over ignorance, I think that's when society is truly protected from all the sham that has been going around in the world. If ignorance is really dangerous than evil, then perhaps the best way to protect ourselves is to stay curious and to ask questions and never stop seeking the real story. Yeah, no, it's kind of that simple. I don't have to draw an outline here. What I'm talking about, all the things that I've said right now, why I'm talking about this is from 1930s Nazi Germany. Times have changed. We have evolved as societies. The technologies have evolved. Everything has evolved. But have the humans evolved really? Or have we devolved? I don't know. Give it a thought. We are living in today's, in 2024. 1930 was almost a century ago. But I just still want you to think about it. How much have we evolved really? What is going on around us in present time? Even though the things have changed, the humans are still the very same. We know a lot of things, but we're still the very same. We fall for the very same crap. People fall for the very same slogans. People believe things off of WhatsApp. In the era of this information overload, where we've got things at our fingertips, we still get manipulated very easily. We still fall for the fake ass news always. And people believe it. People just believe it without even questioning it. All I really want to say right now is stay vigilant and always be on lookout about what you're consuming in terms of information.